What's going on, everybody? Hopefully, you're having a great morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on wherever you're tuning in the world. My name's EQ. Welcome to EQ Trades. Now, the most common question I got on the live stream the other day was what altcoin I would invest in. So, I feel like the best way to go about it is to just show you how I look for altcoins and look for projects with low market caps to see the potential of where they could go. But before we get into this, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. And if you want to come trade with me, make sure to go check out the Epic Trading Floor. Now, first and foremost, I always go to CoinGecko for this type of thing. The main reason why is because when you go to the cryptocurrencies tab, go to highlights. Now, when you click the highlights button, you'll notice right off the bat, trending coins, top gainers, top losers, new coins, most viewed, highest volume, price change since all-time high, most voted. And you can even go through categories if you want to see what, whatever portfolio from an institution or a capital, a hedge fund company where they're investing in. You can click into Pantera, for example, and see all the projects that Pantera is invested into. So you can get a good idea of where the institutional money is flowing. And a lot of times, I'll just show you as a quick example, what I like to do for these is kind of go down the list and see the ones that are ranked, 500 or lower, or higher, I should say, and see, kind of look into the project, see if it's new, and see if it's just something that hasn't really popped off yet. But there's usually a reason why they're investing in these projects so cheap and so low. Some of them are going to be old, like Zcash has been around for a while, so I wouldn't necessarily worry about that. Same with Terra Luna Classic. I wouldn't worry about that one. But going back to the highlights page, what I really like to do is go into the trending coins. These are things that are going to pop off. So I've already done some research. I did a video on Layer 0, so we'll go ahead and look at this. Actually, no, I already did a video on it, so let's do one that I haven't done just so we can see one. Let's look at, a lot of people are asking me about Spike, and I know Spike is kind of trash. It's a meme coin. So for a short-term gain, that's great. But if you're trying to hold Spike long-term, this isn't financial advice, but I wouldn't personally. So you're sitting at a $34 million market cap. You can kind of see what the max supply, total supply, circulating supply. They basically have their entire supply already out in circulation. And then you can see basically more of the contract. You'll be able to see what categories they fall in. So all they pop up in as a meme coin. And when you go to the website, it's pretty basic. There's not really much information about that. You can see them on Dex Tools and Dex Screener in their contract, but there's no white paper. There's not really anything. It's a very basic website where all you can do is really just buy. Doesn't even have a sell option, ironically enough. So this is something that I would look at and be like, no thanks. It's not my cup of tea. I'd like to look for something a little more realistic that has long-term value. So then I would go to, let's say, ZK Sync and look at the all-time just to check it out. Okay, cool. We've had a nice sell-off. It has been out for less than a month now, so it's pretty new. 21 billion supply, and it's a max, so it's finite. It's deflationary, and you have a circulating supply of 3 billion, so they still have a lot of supply and tokens to put into the market, which is good to see. There's a lot of room for growth. ZK Sync, you can see that they're layer 2, and they are in 3 different portfolio companies, which is great to see. Let's see, Explorers. We'll go straight to there. Another good thing is right off the bat, they put their white paper. So you can get into their documents and see everything that they have listed in here. And then on top of that, when you go to their website, it's clean. Like, I like ZK rollups specifically. I talk about them a lot, which are zero knowledge rollups. And I'm not going to get too crazy into it in this video, but in layman terms, layer 2s are built on top of layer 1s to make them better. So a project like ZK Sync would be built on top of Ethereum in order to help Ethereum function better and help process transactions. And that's what ZK rollups do. So when these types of projects are processing Ethereum transactions, they bunch them together and move them over. And in that process, they're either going to use a ZK rollup, which is a zero knowledge rollup, or they're going to use an optimistic rollup. And the major difference between the two, ZK rollup, zero knowledge, means that the rollup in the smart contract itself is not going to assume that there are good apples. Let's face it, in the crypto space, there's always going to be bad people and there's always going to be malicious activity. So these smart contracts are naturally going to assume that could be the case. So it's going to take a little bit longer. They're a little bit slower than an optimistic, but they're safer because they are doing an extra test before they get approved and processed into the blockchain. Whereas an optimistic rollup is going to be basing the transaction on the fact that they're all good players. And so all transactions will be handled accordingly, and then innocent until proven guilty. And then once they find, let's say, malicious piece, then it's up to the code to fork or do something along those lines in order to remove that malicious transaction from the blockchain and continue movement. So I personally like ZK rollups more. I like the security on it, and Polygon Matic is my big play. So this is going to be a competitor to Polygon, and you can see that they have a lot of transactions already, 400 million, 7 million addresses, transaction costs 1 cent, and total value locked 1.32 billion. That's great to see. And going through you can continue to look through the project, obviously this video isn't about ZK Sync specifically, but I do like what I see. The website's clean. They have all of their links available. You can find them on Discord. Their documentation is easy to find. Their GitHub is right there. So everything that you would need to know and find is clear as day and transparent. So right off the bat, that is good to see. So this is one that I would look into long term and consider, okay, maybe this does have the potential. Now that I know and I did my research, I can go back. I can see we're sitting at a $660 million market cap, and I would go to the top 50 list and see what market cap it takes to break the top 50 or top 100. So for example, right now, if I wanted to break into the top 100, I would need a $763 million market cap. And let's say that it wanted to 10x because it's at a 600 million. The 10x would be a 6 billion market cap, which would put it at right where Uniswap is, would be basically top 20. Now, all of these are relative too. So if we go into a bull cycle, you have to remember that if Bitcoin doubles, for example, Bitcoin at the peak of the next bull cycle hits, 120,000, that would mean that market cap is going to be at around 2.2 trillion, 2.3, 2.4 trillion. And when that happens, it would be safe to assume that every other altcoin that's performing well would be at least 2 times that value as well, if not more, because they're altcoins and they have more room for growth. So market cap is going to tell you essentially how far a project can grow. So if ZK Sync is at 600,000, if it wanted to 2x, it would be a 1.2 billion market cap, which would basically put it into the top 50 to 75 list, which isn't that hard to achieve. There's a lot of old projects on here that are going to continue to drop too. You can see like Jasmine, for example, has been selling off nonstop. And once those continue to clean up, you could see projects like ZK Sync move up this list pretty fast. And again, if it wanted to do a 10x move where you 10x your value on the project, that would be putting it at like currently where the top 20 would be. But realistically, anything that's at 3 billion right now, so it'd be like a top, if it hit a top 40 project, then you can make a 10x return. For example, on ZK Sync, if you were to get in at current value and it performed really well and into the bull cycle, it just continued to pop off. That's basically what I do whenever I'm looking for projects. That's kind of my breakdown, and then I'll just go back to the list and see if there's any other ones on there and continue to check and see kind of where everyone else is looking and what's grabbing attention, and base my analysis and my trading on that. So if you found anything useful in this video, make sure to like it, drop any questions you have in the comments, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribing yet, and go check out the Epic Trading Floor if you want to come trade with me, get access to buy and sell signals, get access to our academy, and a bunch of other cool things. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll catch you on the next video.